Mine's right next
All
to
right, so here we go.
comments.
It is Wednesday morning, hump day. Mike. Hey, I hope yesterday was awesome, super great, best day of your life. Hope tomorrow is twice as good as that. But we're going to talk about today, how to win today. And what I got is something fairly simple to talk about. And that is how to do anything. Is that simple? Maybe it's not so simple, but how to do anything. But before I get into how to do anything, everything, I want to talk about right now. Keller Williams has a mega camp going on, and that's where they're all meeting out in Austin. I think they're in Austin, and they got a bunch of speakers and doing all that stuff, right? And I've been watching some of the comments coming out of there, and what I'm seeing over and over, and it must be Gary's mantra, is work. You got to do the work. And this is a work market. There's very few easy deals right now. This is a work market. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I've been doing this a long time. A number of people in our market that have been around as long, or maybe even some of them longer than I have, I've been bumping into them. They don't want to do the work. When you've been to the top of the mountain and you're going back down and then you got to go back up, a lot of folks don't want to go back up. I've heard a few of them now. I'm not taking listings because they're not selling. I'm getting out of production, or I haven't decided if I want to keep in production, or I'm just taking some time. All this stuff is happening because when the market turns like it did, and you got to work twice as hard for half as much as you're used to getting, it's really hard mentally, emotionally, and perhaps even physically. And a lot of people might be just all right with what they've achieved, and now they're going to ride it down to whatever they can take out. And that's super cool. I'm not saying it's not, but it is a thing. And what that, hey, Judy, San Diego, love it. What that tells me is, because I was talking to another person on our team, and what that opens it up, and we had Jessica Drew, I was talking to her, 48 closed or pending, some number like that already this year. That's really good. She's crushing, but she's younger, she's more aggressive, she's not tired, or maybe she's tired, she's not showing it, right? And I was talking to one of our agents this morning. A lot of these older agents just don't have the gas in the tank to do what it takes right now, which is a wonderful thing for younger, new agents like you, Destiny, that are willing to come in and do whatever it takes to do it. The young kid on my team just got his fourth deal together. He's 22 or 3, 5 months in the business, 6 months in the business, just got his fourth deal together. And he's working. The people in our group that are working, hey, Jesse, Bianca, good to see y'all this morning. Thanks for showing up. But they're working. And I see it in these comments from Mega Camp. Gary's big thing is T-shirts. Do the work. You're going to be rewarded. The problem is you can do the work and the instant feedback isn't quite there the way it was when the market was a little easier. But like I was telling the gal on my team, because she said, I'm making the contacts, I'm having the conversations, nothing's happening. It is happening. You're just not seeing it, right? These are deep water or whatever, still water runs deep. You're having the conversations, you're putting yourself into their world, you're staying in their world, all those things. You don't have those conversations, you're gone. You're washed away with the current. You got to keep in there, all right? I don't know if those metaphors work, but you get my point. So you got to do the work. You got to do the work. The work is talking to people. The work is previewing. The work is studying the market. And you just got it. The easy stuff's going to be gone. The good news is the folks who have been and had a lot of market share have generally stopped in our market. They're not doing the work. And that's what happens. You get old, right? It happens in professional sports all the time. It happens in work. It happens in our environment. So for you new people that are struggling or worried about things, hang in there. Do the work. You'll be fine. For you folks that are reinventing yourself, right? Hang in there. Do the work. Believe in the systems that you've had that have been successful. They'll be successful again, assuming it was built around work, having conversations previewed. You'll be fine. You'll be better than fine. Okay, so let's talk about how to do anything, everything. Nothing might be a bad habit. How do you not do something, right? And here's one thing in my 58 years of work. Yeah, and I worked from day one. That's, born with work boots on. Here's what I found. You can do anything, literally anything. Most things, anything. If you break it down into small parts, doable parts, right? You want to do 100 transactions a year, you can do it, no doubt. Just make sure you do one, and then you can do 5, and then you can do 50, and so on. Here's what you're gonna do. You can do anything you want. Let's just get my notes here. Create a simple, doable plan. We talk about this all the time. Simple, doable plan. Complex and hard doesn't get done. Just doesn't get done. But simple, doable. You want to run a marathon? Figure it out, right? This week I'm going to run 1 mile. Next week I'm going to run 2. A month from now I'm going to run 20. Whatever it is. You want to do 100 transactions? All right. Here's how I'm going to do my 1. Here's how I'm going to do my 10. Here's how I'm going to do my 50. Right? Little, small, doable parts. Right? I want to make $1 million a year. Cool. You got to make 10 grand, 100 grand, 300 grand, 500. What's your plan? Right? Create this plan to do it and make sure you can do it, right? Simple, doable. I'm going to talk to 10 people a day. Okay. And then when you can talk to 10, I'm going to do 15 people a day. I'm going to do 20. I'm going to talk to 30, whatever it takes. I'm going to do an open house a week, an open house, 2 open houses a week. I'm going to do an open house every day, whatever the case may be. Just break down this plan you got. All right. And do it. Do it and do it and do it and do it. What happens is we get this good idea that we're going to do, this goal. We create a nice, doable, simple plan. And we do it twice, once, 5 times, a week, a month. Not enough. Not enough. You got to show up every day for the rest of your life or until you get whatever it is you're going for, right? You got to do it and do it and do it. All right. Okay. Pro tips. Let's talk about some pro tips. Start at the beginning, not the end. I want to make $1 million. Oh, I'm only making 200 grand. I'll never make it. I got to make $1 million. And you shortcut things. I have found long-lasting, long-term success does not have shortcuts. It just doesn't, right? You may call 3 people and get a listing right off the bat. The first person you talk to lists or buys. That doesn't mean you don't have to call the next 19 or 50 or 100. It means maybe you got lucky, right? I used to work with this guy. We call him Derek the Closer. I don't remember his last name, but I remember him his first. He came on. He was new. A deal fell into his lap right away. He made a lot of money, and he just felt like God was shining on him more than everyone else. And he never acquired the skill, and he washed out. So just be careful. Jesse's 49, completely starting over, new market, new state, no other choice but to work. How great is it to have that choice, though, to be able to work, and you can out-hustle a lot of folks. Good for you, Jesse. That's hard, though. I get it. Totally get it. All right, so at any rate, don't start at the end. Start at the beginning. Create some momentum, okay? Smaller, easier pieces. I'm going to call 300 people today. Love it. Love it. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Let's call 3. Let's call 30. Let's call whatever. Start at the beginning. Smaller, easier pieces. I'm going to make $1 million this year. Awesome. How much you make last year? 50 grand. I like your confidence. You might want to readjust your plan a little bit. All right. One more pro tip, then we'll get in some conversation. Give yourself some time. Time's a weird thing, right? Give yourself enough time to do what it is that needs to be done. I'm going to make $1 million this year. Love it. What if you make $1 million in 4 years? Would that be cool? Oh, that would be great. Well, then give yourself some time to ramp up. Okay. But time's a scary thing. You can't give yourself too much time, because if you give too much time, you end up not getting there. So you got to monitor that. All right. Destiny, before we jump into you, I want to talk to Julie because she's been around one time. Is this ringing a bell with you at all?
So I agree with, you need to have a goal. You need to have a long-term vision. You have to have something that motivates you, and it has to be constantly present. So, whether it's every morning you look in the mirror and above your face, you have written on your mirror, $100,000 or 100 transactions, or lose 50 pounds or whatever. But pick one or two huge goals that if you were successful with reaching this goal, it would change your life in a big way. So, first off, write a bunch of them and then decide which one would make the biggest difference in my life.
Love it. Hold on a second. Love that. Love that. Love that. Here's what you should do. When you leave here, this is how you're going to win the day. Write down 10 things, 50 things, 100 things you want to do. Anything you can think of.
Everything and anything. Just write it all down.
Yep. Just get them out of your head and onto that paper. Then once they're in that little list, you can start, that one's cool, but when this one's done, and just have this little tournament, so to speak, till you get down the ones that really matter. Does that make sense?
One or two. Mm-hmm. One or two.
Yeah.
So that's first. One or two that's going to move the needle the most. What will make the biggest impact in your life? That's number one. And number two is now you have to come up with hourly, daily, weekly things that you can do, because you have the long-term 1 year, 5 year, 20-year plan, right? What's going to get you out here? But now you can't wait. Okay, I've got lots of time. I'm going to wait until tomorrow I can do it. No, hourly, daily activities. So for example, I'm going to give you an easy example that will kind of make this clear. Years ago, I decided I wanted to do a triathlon. I didn't understand what was involved, except that I knew it was swim, bike, run. Before I ever completed one triathlon, I decided I was going to do the Ironman, which is the big triathlon. It's 140.6 miles. I had no idea how to do this. So for many years, I didn't start. And then one day, my husband gave me a book and said, I'll do it with you. And we mapped out the next 6 months of what we were going to do each day. So 6 days a week.
You started small. You didn't start out with a 20-mile run, right?
Right. We start out and the first thing you're doing is trying to get your heart rate down. And we would run for 20 minutes. So that's why I say come up with hourly goals. Mm-hmm. This is how much I'm going to, and none of it was X amount of miles or laps in the pool or miles cycling, because the plan wasn't, we don't know our fitness, just like we don't know how good we are at calls and notes and face-to-face. So you do, I'm going to do X for 20 minutes. I'm going to do Y for 30 minutes. I'm going to do Z for an hour. You set time and then just get a little timer and flip it over, or a watch or something. And you do that thing for that amount of time, because what you control with your goals is not the outcome. You control your actions.
Mm-hmm. And the actions will determine the outcome.
Doing your actions. And then you can back into, I want to make $100,000. What's the average sales price in our market? What's the average commission? Okay, the average sales price is $478 and the average commission is 2.5%. So I'm going to make X. And so I need to have, 20 referrals to get one, or 20 contacts, whatever. And then you decide, I need to make 67 calls a week to reach this goal, or whatever the thing is. And then you just start, how many minutes?
Back it down pretty quick when you start getting into it.
And then you have a formula, and now you're in control. A lot of times people set these goals to do stuff and they feel overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. But you have control if you back it down into minutes. And then one of the most important things is get a mentor. Mm-hmm. And whatever
it can take you from A to E.
Yeah, a coach.
Maybe quicker. You still go through everything, but you move them quicker. I love that you're taking a left there, but if you go straight and a little bit longer, it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm. I went down that path. Don't go there. There's a bear. Go this way. It's flat and it's smooth.
Yep. So smart. So smart. Destiny, you're just getting started. Wow. You're 2 years almost now?
Almost.
Pretty
first full year. Just about.
Cool. Tell me your perspective on this.
I think my perspective on it is that, starting, like you said, starting small and working your way up, having realistic expectations for yourself and not setting yourself up for failure is so important. They say you can only eat an elephant by taking small bites at a time, and not letting yourself down is what's most important. For me, my goal is I want to buy my first investment property, but what does that take? How much out of each commission check am I going to have to put aside to reach that goal? How many houses am I going to have to sell to get to that point where I have enough down payment money for that goal? And so chunking it down into those realistic goals is what's key, I would say.
So great. So great. You got to know what it is you're going for, because if you don't know, I mean, what the hell, right? Mm-hmm. You got to know what it is you're going for, create a simple, doable plan, right? And then just do it. Just do it. And start at the beginning. I want to own 15 investment properties. Awesome. Just get one. Get one, and then you'll get 2 and 3 and 4.
Talk to somebody who's done it. So that you don't have to go into the deep crevasses of the mistakes, build a bridge over them by talking to someone who's done it. And then just start with, and when I say hourly, usually when you hear people talk about goals and time management, you calendar, what are the most important things that are going to get me to, and don't have 27 goals that you're trying to get to, because then you're spread too thin and your focus is, you don't have any focus. You need to focus so that you're focusing on the one thing that I need to do today to get me closer to that goal.
I'm going to add one here. I was just thinking about this. Go big. Too many people don't have big enough goals. They don't inspire you when it's hard. It inspires you. Yeah, I want to make, $1 million. That's not big enough. And here's the other thing. Money ain't it. Right? It's what the $1 million will do for you that's going to inspire you or whatever. But go big. And we've talked about this in the past. Whatever your big is, challenge yourself to quadruple it, 10 times it, whatever.
It should be scary. It should be a little bit scary, but then you break it down into tiny little pieces and you just, here's what I control.
Yeah.
Here's what
like a triathlon is bigger than a marathon.
A marathon is part of a triathlon. Well, right? Of an Ironman.
Go big.
Yeah, exactly.
Go big. You want people to say, yeah, right. You want yourself to say, yeah, right. And then you start chunking it down. Like, yeah, I think I can do this. Mm-hmm. I think I can do it. We did, what did we do? Like $160 million in sales a couple years ago, right? 1 year. And, that's a big goal. And I thought that was big until people were telling me they were trying to do $1 billion. So, okay, I got to reevaluate, right? And I know some people out there, oh, hell, I'll just, if I could do 10 million in sales, awesome, right? Your goals are your goals, my goals are my goals, whatever. But make sure they make the hair on your arms kind of a little bit, I don't know, because that's exciting. Right.
But then come up with the formula to how to reach it. Kind of like what we're talking about. What is the average sales price? What's the average commission? How many calls do I need to make to get one appointment? Okay. And then how many appointments do I need to get one closing? And then back into that and say, okay, I need to make X amount of calls or face-to-face contacts, whether it's door knocking or, expireds or circle prospecting or open houses. How am I going to get face-to-face and voice-to-voice with enough people to reach my goal? And then you start doing it.
There you go. Believe you can do it, even if you think you can't. What's his name?
Henry Ford.
The mind can conceive and believe, the body can achieve, or whatever.
Yeah, and the other one is, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford.
All right, Destiny, give me some insight real quick.
Some insight, I would say, like I said before, be realistic in your expectations. Sorry, I've got dog background noise in the back, but just be realistic in what you want to do for yourself, and then chunk it down so that you're not overwhelming yourself in the process and letting yourself down.
Awesome. Hey, here, I'm going to add to that real quick. Whether you're young or you're old, As long as you're still going, you have time. I'm too old to, no, wrong. Get rid of that. Okay. I'm too young. Wrong. Get rid of that. Start now. Julie, give us some wind up.
I agree with that. Colonel Sanders, I don't know how old he was. I think he was in his late 50s or early 60s when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken and became huge.
Julie, you've run a lot of races, whatever, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. Is there any old people doing those?
My dad is 82 and he's still doing half.
It's unbelievable. I used to run. I'd get in these races. I'd look around and there'd be these old people, heavy people, small people, big people.
Yeah. You see these huge people run past you and you're like, what?
Yeah.
That person is not going to
They
be.
have different goals, different dreams, different plans. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, don't limit yourself on purpose. Okay. For go big and go.
If it's in your head, if you're thinking it, don't be afraid to write it down. You might not share it with someone right away, but write it down. Write down all your goals. Like I said, just brain dump, write them all down, and then decide, if I achieved this goal, which one would make the biggest difference a year from now looking back? And then go after that one.
Do it. I'm going to leave you guys with this. How to win the day. All right. Create something you're going for. Just write them all down. Come up with the one or two that you really want. Okay. And this, it can be financial. It can be work related. It can be spiritual. It can be relationships, whatever it is, anything. This works for everything. Create a simple, doable plan to do it. Do it. Give yourself time, all that stuff. And you know what's going to happen? When you do it, it's going to actually occur, and you're going to get to the mountaintop and you're going to look around for a new mountaintop, because there's always a new one. It's so great. It is so great. Even the people that climb Everest, they get to the top. Then they say, okay, how can I do it faster? How can I do it without oxygen? How can I do it carrying 8 people or whatever? What's the next? So that's cool. You're going to find your biggest of dreams. You're going to achieve them. And then you can go find a new dream that's even bigger.
You're going to look back and go, here's what I did wrong along the way.
So great.
Now I'm going to change all these things, refine these little details, and I'm going to get better.
Yeah. I made $1 million a year. How can I do it in a month? You just everything, how can I do it a deal? $1 million per deal, whatever. Okay, there you go. That's what you're going to do. Go do it. I'm excited to hear what you guys have. If you want to send an email or talk about it tomorrow, that's great. Napoleon Hill's our guy. Thanks, John. All right, let's go to work. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.